Welcome back to our WordPress penetration testing and security course. My name is Chandan Ghodela and today we are going to dive into an exciting and crucial aspect of penetration testing, which is WordPress Reconnaissance Techniques. So this is the first step into identifying the potential vulnerability in your WordPress site. So reconnaissance, or we can say that recon, is all about that gathering information. So the more you know about your target, the better prepared you are to find and exploit vulnerabilities. And in this lesson, we will explore the various techniques and tools you can use to perform the effective reconnaissance on a WordPress site. So here we can see that we have the target, that pentesthint.com, which we have already created in that WordPress, that CMS. So reconnaissance is that foundation of any penetration test, which allows you to that identify the that WordPress and plugins in use, discover potential entry points and vulnerabilities, understand the site structure and technologies, gather information about users and their roles. So let's identify that how can we that find out that is it like CMS or not. So first of all, whenever we can use that what web, with the help of what web you can see like what technology is using, or if you are using that Firefox browser, so there's an like extension or plugin, the name it's Weblizer. So in Weblizer we can see that version of that CMS, that 6.5.3, that blog, and then that some plugins detail, that Yoast SEO, but it's showing only that one plugin, because maybe it's like publicly available through this information, so that's why we can see only that one plugin. But like in this video we're going to discuss about like how can we that enumerate all the plugins that in our WordPress site. But in starting you can identify with the help of that Weblizer or with the help of that what web, so you can enumerate that that website is developed in that WordPress site. The second option is like generally in WordPress site there is a like default file which is that readme.html. So pentestint.com/readme.html, whenever you just click or just visit this this page, so you can see that WordPress logo. That's mean this website is developed in that WordPress site, because there's like no the default informative files in that are WordPress directory. The second option is uh, you can see that multiple images on your website or your target website, so just right click on that image, and you can see that option is that open image in new tab. So just click on that open image in new tab, and you can see that full path of that image, and the banner scale.jpg, and you can see the path of this image is wp-content. That's mean that WordPress content, there is a directory upload 2023, that year, then month, and then that image name. So you can see here the details. So you can also identify from this option by like see that path of that wp-content. And the another one is like you can choose the wp-admin. So generally that people who don't know about that security, the default WordPress login panel would be the wp-admin. So whenever you visit the wp-admin, you can see that username or that email address, that passwords and other details. So we can try or we can exploit this issue as well. So this is the passive reconnaissance you can that identify that WordPress website. Other than for that that active reconnaissance, which involves directly interacting with the target site to gather information, and some common methods like we can use that port scanning, network mapping, fingerprinting, that brute force directory, and that file enumerations. So we can try these methods also. And there are some popular tools as well for that WordPress reconnaissance, like Nmap, Bob Suite, the Harvester, Google Docs, or WPScan. So in this video we're going to discuss about about the WPScan, which is like a good tool to identify, to enumerate the vulnerabilities, to brute force that login panel. So there are lots of options in WPScan. So just go to the WPScan. So there is an official website of WPScan. Rather than you can just download through that GitHub also. So in GitHub's, it's already updated. So let's copy that file and let me run that Kali Linux. So if you are using that Kali Linux, so that WPScan, it's already configured in your operating system. So right now we have the WPScan. Now WPScan, it's a that black box WordPress security scanner which designed to detect security issues in WordPress installation. So the tool can be identify the WordPress version, enumerate plugins and themes, and detect vulnerabilities such as that outdated WordPress versions, vulnerable plugins and themes, weak passwords, and configuring issue. So we can use that with the WP scan. So WP scan and hyphen help, and there are lots of that option we can use. So if you are using other than that Kali Linux operating system, so you can use that git clone, and then the wpscan.git, where you can see that, or like from that GitHub website. Now whenever you that configure, like, it's very easy, just go to that folder, and then with the help of that gem you can just install that that WP scan. But if you are using that Kali Linux, then it's okay. So right now I'm using the try hack me box, that blog.thm you can see on the try hack me website. So whenever you search on that WordPress, so you will get that box, or you can see that in description box as well. So I could just configure with that host file. So right now that we have that vulnerable that WordPress, which is that blog.thm. So in blog.thm, and with the help of the WP scan, we just use that scans. So there are lots of scan that options in WordPress and WP scan. So WP scan, and we have to mention that hyphen URL. But apart from that option, you can see in that help part, and in help section we can see that for that verbose we can use that hyphen v for save that file, that hyphen o, hyphen f for format specification, hyphen t for threads, and the disable TLS check if you got any issue during that live website or for the bug bounty. So you can use that hyphen that disable TLS check, request timeout seconds, and then proxy protocols, like if applications is that use any that proxy, so you can use that proxy and protocols. But for that enumeration you can use that hyphen e. But if you want to use that specific that choice, so you can use that hyphen enumerate, and then you can choose that options, which is that VP for that vulnerable plugins, AP for all plugins, popular plugins, vulnerable themes. And if you want to do that all that option, so you can use that hyphen e. So in our case we're gonna use that hyphen e only. And there are that's lots of options as well, that if we got that username or if we got that password, so we can use that here. So we don't need to use any that John the Ripper or Hydra for brute forcing that username and password, that we can brute force with the help of the WP scan only. So let me clear these things, and then WP scan, then hyphen URL, and then we have to paste that our target website, and then hyphen e for enumeration. So when we that hit the enter, so maybe your WP scan asks for that the latest update. So let me enter, then updating the database. So if your WP scan like already that up to date, then it will run. Otherwise, like, it will update, and then the WP scan will be run. So its scanning like has been started. So that update complete. These are our there are target details. That interesting finding is that for the headers, so Apache 2.4.29, so we got this information that found by headers. Robots.txt found that interesting entries WP admin and WP hyphen admin. That means we can see we can enumerate that login panel directly. And XML RPC seems to enable That's mean we can do that brute force on that post method through. We'll see on in next part. And WordPress readme found, we have already discussed. For that enumeration upload directory, we can like see like the directory listing. That's mean all folders and files list. The external wp cron seems to be enable. Version 5.0 identify, which we know that's already that deprecated version, so there should be lots of exploits also for this version. Then WordPress theme, the version is out of date. The latest version is 2.6. That's mean the use of this theme, that 2020 readme.txt, is out of dated. The latest version is 2.6, but it's using I think 1.3 something. And that found by confirmed. Then enumerating vulnerable plugins, no plugins found. So no themes found, no dim terms found. Enumerating config backup with checking that configuration backup, which also not found. Enumerating db exports. So what's interesting, that user identified. So we got some users like kwheel, bezoil, uh, Karen Wheeler, and Billy Joel. So we have that four users we found. So this is the that easiest way to found with the help of WPScan. But there is another method also. So let's say if I'm using that pentesthint.com, so you can go that wp hyphen json w slash wp slash v2 slash users. So sometimes like you can see the details of that multiple users in any WordPress site. So you can see these slugs, that's mean admin, then author admin, that's mean there's a user which name is admin, and we can verify that easily with the help of that wp admin. So let me just log out, and let's say if I enter that wrong username and then password will be anything, then login. So my error is the username, wrong username is not registered on this site. That's mean if you enter the correct username, so you will get a different error. Let's say I just put admin1 and then login. So again you will see that the username admin1, but whenever I add that admin and admin, now the error is totally different. Now you can see the password you entered for the username admin is incorrect. That's mean uh, the user which you guess with the help of the wp-json v2 users that file, or with the help of the wp scan, that's mean it's correct. Same as for that our target website as well. So we can see or we can verify with the help of the wp admin. So we can see the wp admin is redirect to that login panel, and we can identify that. Let me copy that username. Let's say I just enter stfg and then login. So you will see that invalid username, but when I enter that correct username and that password, so you will see the different error that the password you enter for the username basal is incorrect. That's mean you can easily guess that username for this uh, any WordPress website. Now we have to not only that brute force these file, brute force these users. So let me copy and add in that one txt file. So that fun user. So in new tab, I just create a new file which is nano and then user.txt, and just copy, paste, and then control O, control X. We can see that get users.txt. So we have that four user, and without any that alternative tools like John the Ripper and Hydra, I'm using the WP scan for brute force that users. So for brute forcing, I'm again that using WP scan hyphen hyphen URL and then our target website. And then instead of that hyphen e that's meant for enumeration, I just add that password file. So you can use that rocklu.txt file which you can download from that GitHub. So let me show you GitHub rocklu.txt. So you can see that rocklu.txt file and directly you can download that file on your system. So I've already downloaded, so just go on home, Kali, downloads, and then rocklu.txt. Then we have that username list. So that's mean we have created that username list. So hyphen capital U and then users.txt. So this is the basic command for that brute forcing that password. In that case, which we know that username. So let me enter hyphen p capital P. Now the WP scan has been started, and that's normal scanning because like it's like always that follow this process of the WP scan to enumerating that all things. But after that, that performing password attack on that XML RPC against that 4 users which we have already that given. So you can see that password, oh sorry, that username and that multiple passwords. So we have lots of passwords, so it will take time to that brute forcing for that user. So we have already that given that 4 users, so let's wait for uh, to get that actual password. So after some time we got success for that user Kevin. The password is that qt by 1. So let me copy and let's verify, and let's paste that password. And yes, we have successfully that login that account. Now there are lots of options to penetrate or get that reverse shell or that more exploitations. So we'll see that one by one because like there are multiple plugins as well, or the theme is exploitable, the version is exploitable. So let's check that one by one. The dashboard, my first approach would be find a way to upload a PHP reverse file, but as we can see there is no such option to add it in that theme, that files or not a theme editor options. So we have to find out that another method. And during the enumeration we got that that WordPress version is 5.0, which is that outdated version. And whenever we search on that on Google, so we got that exploit on that exploit hyphen db, that WordPress 5.0, that image remote execution. And we have that CVE ID as well. So it's 2019 89242. So we can search with the that's on search exploit as well, that search exploit. And let's say WordPress that 5.0. So we'll get that exploit from that exploit hyphen db, that website. And that exploit also available on Metasploit as well. So let's open that MSF console. So once MSF console start, we will search as per the CVE ID. So let's wait for that our MSF. So let's search CVE 2019 and then 8943. So we can see that WordPress crop image shell upload, and there's a RCE available. So let me use that exploit. So I'm just using use 0, and we will in that an exploit part and multi HTTP wcop. Now we have to set up that multiple options. So let's say that show options, And ensure options, that payload options, exploit target. So we have to enter that password, uh, username, which that required, yes, is already fulfilled. So let's set that password and username. So set username, and then k wheel set password, and our password was qtpie 1. Let's see again that show options. So we have password, we have username, and know the things it's required, that lhost is we have to set. So set lhost, and our IP is 10.17.4.36. Port number you can change if it is already listening that 4444, so you can change with the help of that set L port. Otherwise, that it's okay. Now that all things are that set up, now we have to run the exploit. So just enter that exploit. Oops, we just forget to add that R host. So we have to get that R host as well. So our target IP is, now let's exploit. Show options. That password is changed now. That qtpie is spelling. So set password. So let's exploit. So start reverse TCP handler and authenticate with WordPress using that kvil that authenticated with WordPress successfully. Preparing payloads, upload the payload, then its image uploaded, and let's wait for that meterpreter shell. So it's successfully included into that theme. And yes, we got that meterpreter shell. Now we have successfully connected with that our remote server. Now you have that multiple options to do. If you are doing that CTA for that OSCP exam, so you have to find that user flag or that stable shell. So first of all, I just type that shell. So process created and channel one created. Now we can see if I'm using that who am I, so you can see that www hyphen data, and for stable that shell, so I'm using that python, and c import pty dot spawn bin as such. And yes, now if I'm using that ls, so we can see that multiple files, and during the that installation or configuring the WordPress, we see that a file which is wp config.php. So let's see in wp config file. So config.php, let me cat only. So in WP config file, which we can see there are some that credentials of that MySQL, that we can see that MySQL database username, WordPress user, the database name is that WordPress user, and the database password is this one. MySQL host name, that's already that on local host, and DB name it's blog. Now we can do that further exploitation for connectivity, that MySQL, so we can see that other that users details as well. So I'm using that MySQL to connect with my database. So MySQL hyphen u for that username, that WordPress user, and hyphen p for the password. And let me copy that password also. Let's copy and let's paste. So we have successfully connected that in MySQL. Now we can like there are maybe that multiple databases. So I'm just using that show and databases. So there are like two databases: the information schema, which is by default that in phpMyAdmin, and second one is blog. So if I want to use that blog section, or sorry, that blog database, so I have to use that command use and then blog. So the database has been changed. Now if I want to see the tables, so just using that command show tables, and we can see the WP common meta, comments, options, metadata, and user meta, and WP users. Now let's see that users table details. So I'm using that select star from WP underscore users, and we got that user details, that visual and kwheel, and we can see that are cipher text passwords for that both users. So we can crack that password with the help of any online platform, or we can use that any tools in that Kali Linux as well. But right now we are not the deep diving into that how can we crack that password, because we are just focusing on how can we exploit that WordPress that website. So there are multiple ways. So yes, with the help of like once we that login in that in dashboard, and if that remote site or the target website it's using that deprecated version of the WordPress, so it's easy to exploit with the help of Metasploit, or we can use that exploit hyphen db that multiple exploits. And let's start with that another methods, like how can we that exploit with upload their PHP reverse shell. So let me change that vulnerable website to exploit, to see that are there different exploit to upload that PHP reverse shell. In this example, we can see in dashboard there are multiple options, like that in appearance, the tools and settings. So whenever we go in appearance section, we can see a part of this editor. So right now it's using that WordPress for 5.8.1. We already see like how can we exploit with that the deprecated version. Now I just go on that editor part. So in editor part we can edit that multiple files, so that by default it show that style.css file, which is not that much that useful. So let's visit to any that PHP file. So let me going that 404 template. So 404 template, you can see that PHP code. Now we have to replace with that PHP reverse shell. So I'm just open the PHP reverse shell. So you'll get that pentest monkey and the PHP reverse shell.php. Now let's just copy and just replace that 404 code, and we have to change something in that IP and the port number. So before changing the IP and the port, we have to create reverse that netcat. So I'm using nc-lvp and 4444, and you can use anything, let's say 1234. And L stands for listen, V stands for verbose, and P stands for port number. So I want to listen that port number 1234 in verbose mode, and our IP is that 1074.36, which we have to that add in our that PHP that reverse shell. So let me enter. So it's the listen mode is on. So we need to remember only that port number, which is 1234, and it's already that 1234. Now we have to change that IP. So let's 10.17.4.36. Now just click on that update file. So we have successfully that update this file. Now we have to that visit this 404. So we'll get that reverse connection. So let me this one, and so you can see Okay, so let me open that file, which is uh, this one, http, and then wp content themes, as we say, and then editing that we added in the 2015. So 2015 and then 404.php. Just click on enter, and as I that hit the enter button, you can see that we got that reverse shell from this that website. Now we can do anything again if you are doing that CTF stuff. So you can just found that user flag, or you can do that privilege escalation as well. And you can see that privilege escalation video also, like how can we that escalate the privilege with multiple ways. So there is already a series uploaded on my channel, so you can see there. So this is the that another method to exploit with the help of that theme editor. So in another example, we just enumerate that plugins, which is that Mailmaster, and that other information as well. So that Mailmaster, it say that is latest version that 1.0, but we have to search on that Google, that is that exploit is available or not. So I'm just searching that Mailmaster exploits for 1.0 version, and we got that exploit that version 1.0 on exploit-db. So we can see there is an exploit, which is that local file inclusion. That's mean we can execute or we can read that local file with this vulnerability. So it's a the direct exploit, like you don't need to run that Python or that Metasploit to execute this exploit. So there is in the description we can see that multiple source and multiple that lines. So in source, just you can see that inc campaign that count of send.php, and in line number 4 you can see that includes $get and pl variable. So whenever we execute that file, so with the help of question mark and pl, because we are using that get method, will execute that local files. So let me copy this file location, the source one, the first one. You can try that anyone as per your that requirements, and the target domain, that WordPress, that location, the WP content plugins, Mailmaster, and that file location. And apart from this file, we have to add that variable also, that pl. So with the help of that question mark and pl equal to anything to execute that command, let's say that etc password, and yes, we can see that etc password file here. Now we have an idea that we can execute that etc password. Now as you see in this video, that we are just focusing on the wp config file because it's content that mysql that credentials. So that's why we just focus on only one file. So let me execute, but like sometimes the wp config file you can't execute directly, so let me convert into that php file, that php or that base64 with the help of that php encoding techniques. So once we got that result, then we can again decode that our base64 encoded file. So for this one we have to add some code of that php. So just add PHP filter convert base 64 encode resources, and the resource will be our that exact files of the WP config. So we have to calculate that from that count of send.php, that that before because we have to add that dot slash. That's mean that we have to go to back on that that's on slash folder where that WordPress has been installed. So let me that copy that base64 encoded file, and you can use anything to decode this base64. You can use that bub suite, you can use any terminal commands, but I'm using that online platform to decode these things. So just copy and paste into this and just click on that decode, and you can see that mysql, the db name, db user, and db password, and about the db host details.